Celtic FC back in July 2021 were just basically a shambles. Ange Postecoglou came in as second best to a manager that kept us waiting for months to turn around and say that he didn't want to come to Celtic. 50 games into the Ange Postecoglou era, Ange Postecoglou, the Celtic manager, is up there with some of the Celtic greats, with being Jock Stein, Martin O'Neill and Neil Lennon. The forceful display that Celtic basically did on yesterday at Livingston after 6 attempts forced Ange Postecoglou to cross a significant threshold as he brought up his half-century of games in the role. The Australian boss now boasts a 70% success rate, underpinned by a 29-game domestic unbeaten run that has produced 25 wins. Only 3 Celtic managers in the club's 144-year history, unbroken history, 144 unbroken years, not 10 years, has been topped by Martin O'Neill, who led the way with 75.53% win rate across his 5 years, and obviously Jock Stein had a 70% win rate over 13 years that began in 1975. And yes, Neil Lennon, even though Neil Lennon came back, his win rate was still 70% in his second spell. Even though he didn't take us to the 10 in a row, Neil Lennon is still up there as one of the best win rate managers statistically. But what this does do is this puts Ange Postecoglou away up there as one of the best managers. And we'll all agree, Celtic FC this season have been actually phenomenal to watch. They've been fast paced, and it took a bit of getting used to as a Celtic support. When the manager came in, the Scottish media absolutely vilified Ange Postecoglou and says that he was second rate. He was a manager that no one had heard of. Never mind looking at his stats. His stats down in Australia, his stats down in Japan. He's been there and he's done it. He came in and Ange Postecoglou done it his own way. He takes his no-nonsense approach with the media as something that Celtic fans took to and loved straight away. The fact that he knocks back stupid questions, and when he gives the press the mate, sentence, that he's not going to take any nonsense at all. It doesn't matter how often you see 3 out of 4 stands at Arminville filled by away fans. It never ceases to amaze me how much the Celtic support actually back their team, even after being away from Scotland for a year. When you see the Celtic support out in vast numbers as they were yesterday, and the fact that, it's credit to Livingston that they made life a bit easier playing on that plastic pitch. It was terrible, but let's look at the stats. Postecoglou figures, of course, have drawn. It's just, it's been an amazing 50 games. Some games we haven't played the way that we wanted to, but you have to put into perspective, where we were last summer, where as a Celtic support, and then getting let down. There was lots of things could have went wrong in the summer. Lots of things we were basically told that we weren't going to do nothing in Europe. We weren't even going to get into Europe. We weren't going to win the league. We weren't going to be anywhere close to winning the league. We weren't going to win a cup at all. The squad was needing a full rebuild. It was going to take 3 or 4 seasons for Celtic to get back to where they were. Ange Postecoglou has came in as Celtic manager, and he's basically turned us around within the first 6 months of his reign. As it comes up to the last 8 games, we're 3 points ahead at the top of the league. It's just fantastic, and what a way to go for this Celtic manager. You look at last season and where Neil Lennon had us and how far, it shows you the process that Ange Postecoglou has went through to turn this team around. This team of players don't become bad players overnight. I can say it's a process that it's been very advantageous to Celtic. There was 3 outstanding coaches he reckons that were already there. There was coaches that were already announced as a new manager, last summer, and this story went on and on and on, and he turned the Celtic job down, and it was probably to our advantage that he turned the Celtic job down, because what then happened was Ange Postecoglou was approached, and he jumped at the chance. He couldn't wait to get over, even though there was restrictions in place. There was restrictions in place where he couldn't come in and get to work straight away. But he set up in his mind what he wanted to do. He knew what he wanted to do with Celtic. And for him to be up there with Martin O'Neill, Jock Stein and Neil Lennon, to boast a 70% success rate in a 29 game, it's 25 wins. If you turn it around as a Celtic fan and say there's a guy going to come in from Australia and he's going to give you some of the best players that we've seen play at Celtic for years for silly a little amount of money, he's going to give you a success rate of 70%. People would have bit their hand off. If somebody had said to me last summer that there's a chance Celtic would have, under Ange Postecoglou, a treble this year, 144 years of unbroken history, the only other people to do it was Martin O'Neill, Jock Stein and Neil Lennon. Yes, Neil Lennon is sort of, he should have walked the season before maybe. He did want to do what he started off, but from his first stint from 2010 to 2014, led him to posting a 70% success rate. This manager, Ange Postecoglou, has came in and he's done that in the first season. The excitement is just building. When and where will this journey end for Celtic? How far can Ange Postecoglou take us next season? Posted a story this morning about players that are being really successful and their parent clubs are maybe wanting them, but I think this could be one of the best summers that Celtic ever have. If Celtic win the league this year and we go into the Champions League, I think this could potentially be the best summer that we've had since maybe the Martin O'Neill era. Tell me in the comments what you think, Celtic fans, about how successful Ange Postecoglou. Tell me in 3 words exactly how you feel about Ange Postecoglou in the comments.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to